Yo, what you lot saying? It's your boy here. Today what I've got for you, it is the MotoGP 2015 Grand Prix of Italy review for you guys. So yeah, let's get right down into this video. So we'll start off with Marc Marquez, and why him? Because he has had a shocker of a season and it just got worse for him, as he has been constantly having trouble, particularly with braking, to be honest, because he has had a lot of trouble trying to brake in time going into turn 1, and it's run wide in a lot of occasions. So yeah, and at one point as well, he even fell off his bike when trying to get it back coming out of turn 1. So yeah, he's had a lot of bad moments during free practice, and as a result did not qualify into Q2. So he had to do Q1 and had to be in the top 2 to qualify into Q2. So his qualifying was on the line, to be honest. So yeah, and Marc Marquez went out on the track. It's a blistering lap time, which wasn't quicker than a leash. I was massively surprised, to be honest, because you would think that he would be able to beat a Suzuki really easily, you know. As Suzuki is not very quick in a straight line, to be beaten by that is a massive shocker. And he still had problems with the first corner. I mean, on his flying lap, on his fastest lap, he even ran wide in turn 1. So he really was having a lot of troubles in turn 1. So he's not really, so his bike really not performing the way he would like it to. So yeah, so issues with his setups, I believe. And in the end, shock horror, Yoni Hernandez got a brilliant tow behind Loris Baz, and guess what happens? He displaces Marc Marquez, who was set to go into Q2. He put him out of Q2, and that as a result, Marquez was out of Q2. He would start from the middle of the I think on the 5th row of the grid. I'm not quite sure if it was the middle, I'm not entirely sure, but he would start in the 5th row of the grid, more specifically 13th. A massive shocker, especially as he's the reigning MotoGP champion, a 2-time MotoGP champion. Wow, unbelievable, high dramas. And one thing I've got to say is that Honda have got some serious explaining to do with Marc Marquez, because they have given away, they have made a terrible mistake. They did not send Marquez out for another run, just to be absolutely sure, to be honest. I mean, honestly, I think if I was Marquez and I was in P2, I would be wanting to get out, to be honest, because you never know, you could get displaced like he just did there. I mean, unbelievable. I have never seen anything like that in my life, to be honest. That is absolutely insane, to be honest. And this is kind of reminding me of Sebastian Vettel in 2012 when he was out in Q2 in Spa and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, just it's incredible. It is absolutely insane. He was throwing his hat in frustration. He was walking away in frustration as well. He even walked to his motorhome as well in frustration. So I think there'll be a lot of serious talks going on for tomorrow's race between the Honda and the Marquez clan there. Certainly not happy with their result. So yeah, 13th for Marquez there. So that meant there was an open goal for everyone in Q2, to be honest, because there had been a lot of quick times there because the grid for the top 10 was so tightly packed, so anyone could be on pole. So yeah, so a lot of people were setting quick times in Q2, but what about that? Ducatis 1 and 3 Ione on pole position ahead of Jorge Lorenzo in second place. Surprised that Jorge wasn't on pole position, to be honest, but mind you, that Ducati has been really quick this season, and plus has been really quick in the straight, on the straights, which this track has been heavily dominated by. So no doubt that pole position was by Ducati there. So yeah, no surprise on that result. But it wasn't Dovizioso. I was massively surprised that it wasn't Dovizioso to get pole position, to be honest. Ione, what a lap by Ione to grab pole position. A truly stunning lap by Ione. He'd been suffering, I've been hearing that he'd been suffering with some sort of injury they had, I think a couple of months ago, so great. So if that's the case, then fantastic, even better, to be honest. So yeah, great stuff from him there in that 29 Ducati bike. So, and also in fourth was Kraus Crutchlow. He was the highest placed Honda. Would you believe it? The Satellite Honda was the highest placed Honda bike over the Repsol Hondas. So clearly the Repsol Honda gang have got some big discussions for them to be. They've got some big talking to do between each drivers, because they cannot allow something like this to happen again, to be honest, especially as they're fighting so hard to reclaim the constructors and even the drivers' world title. So they've got some serious thinking to do going into the race, because that was a dreadful qualifying for the Repsol Honda team. So yeah. So going into the race, it was a good start from the two Ducatis. They got into the lead of the race, but then soon enough, Jorge Lorenzo just blasted past the two Ducatis to take the lead of the race, and really just pulled away from the bikes behind him, and really was in a class of his own, to be honest. I mean, after he got by the two Ducati, I think it was just all she wrote, to be honest. I mean, there was nobody really quick enough to make a big impression on Lorenzo, to be honest. So he had that race won. So yeah. But behind him, there was a really good race going on, particularly with Marquez, who made a brilliant start, moved himself right up into second place behind Jorge Lorenzo. But like I said, nobody could light a candle to Jorge Lorenzo. So like I said, Jorge was out and running. So yeah. So as a result, Marquez was dropping a little bit, and surprisingly got overtaken by Dovizioso for second place there. So that dropped Marquez down to 13th. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know why Marquez dropped to 13th. It may have been a mistake. I'll have to see about that one. But I think it may have been a mistake, to be honest. So yeah, he dropped to third. Then we saw a really good battle going on between the two Ducatis and Marquez. They were battling at it hard, and it kind of reminded me of Le Mans last time out. Them battling out, them going wheel to wheel, them slugging it out for second place. And then afterwards we saw Pedrosa join in with the fight. So it became a Repsol Honda versus Ducati battle, as they were battling so hard for second place. Also, Ione got up to second place as he overtook Marquez and Dovizioso going into turn one, where just before Pedrosa got ahead of before Pedrosa joined the fight. So yeah, that's how he got into second place. And then Marquez did get ahead. He got ahead of Ione for a number of occasions, but on the straight, really, Ione was so much quicker than Marquez that he was able to blast past him down the straight and retake second place, which really infuriated and frustrated the Spaniard there. So much so that he fell off his bike. That was it. His race was over. he lost it at turn 3. He lost it at turn 3. That was it for him. He was absolutely fuming. He was absolutely walking to his garage. He was walking to his motorhome in frustration. I mean, a terrible weekend for Marquez, as he is now outside of the top 4 in this championship. I mean, he would want to be. I don't think he'd want to be anywhere near Mugello now. I think he'd be wanting to forget Mugello, to be honest, because that has been probably one of his worst weekends ever as a motorbike rider, to be honest, because I've never seen Marquez behave the way he has, perform the way he has at the moment. I mean, to be so far down the field, to be having so many accidents and to be outside the top 4 in the championship, I mean, his world is turning upside down for Marquez, and he'd be wanting some redemption and wanting another victory, to be honest. So hopefully it does happen for him. Fingers crossed. So yeah. But then afterwards we saw Dovizioso retire from the race. Apparently it was something to do with the rear end of the bike, so yeah, he had to retire from the race. And I think it may have been to do with the warm-up crash, because remember, he did have a crash in warm-up, and I think that might have done it, to be honest. So I'm gonna guess it might have been that crash in warm-up that might have been the cause of the problem for Dovizioso there. So unfortunate for Dovizioso, but that's racing, so yeah. And then afterwards we saw Rossi moving his way up the field. He started 8th, but then dropped to 9th because of Marquez, and then moved his way up into 3rd place and was right behind Ineone for 2nd place, but in the end did not have enough to overtake Ineone, so Ineone would get that 2nd place. A fantastic result for the Italian there, especially on his home race there, to be so close to victory. I mean, that sucks, but whatever. I mean, to be in 2nd place, to be on the podium along with his hero Rossi, his countryman Rossi, is a fantastic result. One that I think he'll remember for a long, long time. So yeah. And like I said, in the end, it was an easy win for Lorenzo. He was clearly dominant throughout the race and won the race. He's 3rd in a row, and yeah, and as a result was 6 points behind Rossi in the championship going into Catalonia. So he was clearly in a great position. He was clearly in a great position going into Catalonia, knowing that he is now 6 points behind. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he is in the form of his life, to be honest. I mean, this is probably the best I've ever seen, to be honest, from Lorenzo. You know, him dominating the races, having no pressure whatsoever, just driving away from the field as he does in the past and taking victories. And that is why those kind of races are the types that make him a world champion. Those are the reasons why he is I think he's a 2-time champion, I'm not quite sure. Those are the reasons why he's a 2-time champ, I believe. So yeah, I mean, a fantastic race, no mistakes, just completely flawless throughout the race. And yeah, a beautiful, beautiful result by Rossi there, by Lorenzo. 2nd was Ineone, great result by him. No mistakes whatsoever. Really was able to get on top of the pressure that he was given by the 3 guys behind him for 2nd place there. So a great result by him. 3rd place was Rossi. Good drive by him, especially coming from 8th on the grid. And yeah, 4th was Pedrosa. Good ride by him. He faded away from the battle, to be honest, so yeah, unfortunate, but whatever. 4th was the best he could achieve, so that's fine. 5th was Bradley Smith, good ride by him. 6th was Paul Espargaro. 7th, I believe, was 7th, I think. Actually, I don't know. Afterwards, I don't really know where each finished from 6 below. So yeah, those are the 6 that I do know that have finished in those positions. So yeah. And the top open class victory went to Loris Baz, who finished 12th. Good ride by him. No mistakes, completely flawless, and yeah, as a result, took that open class victory. A star, hopefully, that a lot of people are going to be looking out for. I'm certainly going to be keeping an eye on him, to be honest, because he's been really impressing us a lot this year, especially with that result in Italy. Getting a top open class is a good result for him there. So yeah, definitely keeping an eye on him during the season, to be honest. I think he'd be one to watch. So yeah. So a fantastic weekend, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button below, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, so guys, next time, it's your boy, I'm out. Peace.